da 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 la la da 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 da. No. I won't tell a story this week. I won't. No matter how much I want to. Shan't, won't, will not. So don't ask. Not that anyone is here to ask. Not that I can see or hear or feel anyway. Not right now, that is. It's time to just be in the dark, without distraction, without false company, without these little glimmers of fictional reprieve. There's nothing wrong with them, of course. They are quite helpful in times of darkness, but I've been avoiding this darkness. So I actually was a little excited in a way to come here, to force myself to travel through it. I was walking, away from the crumbling tower. And when I realized I was not actually holding anyone's hand anymore, everything went dark. So to not feel so frightened, I told another story. It's nice to escape in stories, but when they're done, I've begun to accept the possibility that I am indeed alone here. Possibility, reality. I started the very first story of this entire journey telling you that we are alone. Then I came to realize that we are never alone. Now I find myself alone again. I understand that philosophically, spiritually, conceptually, we are not alone. None of us are in this dark space behind our eyes, where we all dwell. Sure. But the trick is not depending on others to journey on. But when others leave and give you crumbling statue hands to hold in the dark so that they can go live their lives however they please, and your absolute longing for the kind of love that loves with a wild and desperate abandon finds itself poised squarely on cold marble and distant memory, it's important to recall that they were never going to fill that void. This void I am walking through right now, inside myself and all around me. Well, indeed, that might very well have been the most melancholy thing I've ever written here. Forgive me a little drama, a little operatic moment. It's delightful in its own way, don't get me wrong. A decadence, a treat, a reward at the end of the work week. Or the beginning of it. I've been so terrible, so bad at buckling down and writing, so lost in this space. Forgive me, I'm sorry, listeners, I'm sorry, narrator, I'm sorry, everyone. Get out of here. This is no place for Kristen. She wouldn't last here 1 minute. Get out of here. Scoot. Good. Better. She's gone. I guess. Not really, but fine, all right. It's so funny. It's so funny. Sometimes I'm trekking along, going about my travels, la la la, the sunlight, the moonlight, the trees, the trail, the tower in the background. And then all of the sudden, boom, lights out, pitch black, terror and emptiness. Then lights back, then boom, gone. Then a little of it back, all of it gone. Then, now, all dark, all black, lights gone, for a prolonged time, for a very long time. Even still, caught up to the present of my scattered narrative, all gone, absolutely all gone, and here I am with you, explaining that to the best of my ability. I wished for a hand to hold as I traveled through these dark places. I wished for it so fervently after the one I was holding crumbled apart, after I was abandoned. The melodrama. And suddenly, alone in the darkness in some nether realm I've somehow never been to before in all of my 35 years of travel. Excuse me, I mean timeless, ageless, eternal years of travel. No such thing as time, remember. When I feel a hand reaching out and touching the back of my neck, cold and dry and huge, and with sharp nails. And as it wraps around my throat and begins to squeeze, I want to scream, but find that I can't. I want to run, but two more hands grab at my ankles. I want to strike out, but two more hands grab at my wrists. Suddenly, they're everywhere, and I realize I am not alone. I am not alone. I never have been alone here. And they're growling, they're hissing, they're laughing, the menacing sounds, hungry sounds, mocking sounds, hateful sounds. All kinds of sounds coming from them in these low and terrible voices remind me that well, I was going to say, well, you see, last time you heard from me so long ago, I said I would rather be haunted. I'm sorry it was so long ago, by the way. I've been stuck, you see, stuck here, you know. But I said I would rather be haunted. I wish I wish I was smart enough to say I've learned my lesson, that it would be better to be alone than to have this. But it wouldn't. Because even now, even being torn at by the hands of the hungry dead, at least that's what I think they are, even as my skin is rent and my blood is spilled and my bones are breaking and my heart is exposed and vulnerable in my chest and my guts are threatening to spill out everywhere, if they all just disappeared suddenly. Why do I feel as though I'd go, somehow, even more mad? A little spotlight shines on an unattended guitar and an unattended piano. The guitar, suspended in mid-air, plucks strings and hits frets seemingly of its own volition. The piano keys move up and down on their own like a player piano. The scene is smoky, like some old country bar. And I find myself in an audience, the light on the stage just enough that I can see the white eyes, the decaying skin, the sharp teeth of these corpse-like monsters holding my now alive body tight and grabbing at me so viciously. I close my eyes and take a deep breath in. I can be the High Priestess. I hear my own voice whisper in my own ear. And as I exhale, the hungry demons gasp. Some of them have cowboy hats, suddenly. Others, a rose in their teeth. A few extend a cigarette towards my mouth, a match not far behind. No, thank you, I don't smoke, I whisper, and then hush them as a spirit begins to form itself on stage. I can't tell if it's me or if it's him. I think I see my ghost on the piano, so faint, barely there, only there to provide a little accompaniment. And then on guitar, yes, the one and only him, the hymn beyond all hymns, who I have been somehow missing and neglecting all at the same time. I whisper a gentle little prayer. Please, come back to me. And because I am the High Priestess, my beloved, my gentleman, my angel, my God does. My prayer brings him back, and he is as I always wished him to be, beautiful, strong, dark, mysterious. A black cowboy hat, a loose black shirt, shining black spurs. And he sings me a sad song that I wrote in the depths of my own shadow. But it's funny when he sings it. It's funny because I realize suddenly just how melodramatic it all is. Shh. It's starting. Don't laugh at me. We all sink into misery sometimes. It's okay. Loneliness can be fun, can't it? One of the demons beside me deftly begins to stitch me back up so my heart isn't quite so exposed, so my guts don't spill out, so I stop bleeding so much so that I can enjoy sad and melodramatic music without feeling that I will lose everything inside me so completely. Shh, shh, shh. It's starting. Don't laugh at me.
Don't touch me if you're not gonna stay, or I'm afraid I'll have to get running away. Isn't that funny? Don't touch me if you're just going away. You can call me yours, but you're still out there shutting doors. And I'm out here in the cold. I clipped my wings, you didn't ask. Hid my desires behind a smiling mask. Dug myself deep into your arms. Deception's got its lucky charms. Oh, here I go. The story has already been told. Don't whisper things I want you to say. There's no chance in hell I'd believe them anyway. Isn't that funny? Don't listen to me when I start to pray. Don't hear how I beg to the God of love, and he never listens anyway. I went to heaven and you weren't there, so I sinned again to look for you elsewhere. Dug myself deep into your arms. Deception's got its lucky charms. Here I go. Out in the cold. The story has already been told. The story has already been told.
He looks at me and I feel suddenly quite embarrassed. With a snap of his fingers, the amorous and demonic corpses all around me are once again vicious and grabbing and hungry, and I hear them snarl all around me. I feel their fingers grow sharp and angry again, and I know they're all about to pounce and rip me open with their teeth and claws. But then from the stage he snaps his fingers again, and they all disappear. And I am left alone at a table in a saloon, staring at a stage where a handsome and terrible and merciful and wrathful God of death and love and emptiness and everything stares back at me. His expression unreadable, his smile insatiable. But I am the high priestess, I whisper, thinking to reclaim the power I found only moments ago. He smiles so sweetly and laughs, and with one final snap of his graceful and enormous fingers, everything is black once more, and I am sent careening backwards, falling away into an abyssal void. And I recall that the shadow picked me up and dragged me down almost a year ago. It's almost Halloween. It's almost the final Halloween. I promise I'll be back. I promise I'll be back. I promise I'll... La la la. Hello, my friends. Thanks so much for joining me for episode 288 of On a Dark, Cold Night. This is Kristen Zaza, host, writer, narrator, composer, podcaster, etc. behind the show. I'll keep things brief, but I'm sorry it's been a long time since you've heard from me. It's been a tough time, and I'm trying to take care of myself as best as I can. As I've said before, it's hard because this is part of that, but, we have to do the best we can sometimes, and sometimes that involves letting the emotions take us where they need to take us to. Anyway, I won't go on too long, but all that is to say, apologies for the delay, and thank you for your understanding. I hope you're well. I hope your October is lovely so far, and I'm glad to be here with you now. Sending thanks to everyone who supports the show on a monthly basis on Patreon. Special shout out to my newest patron of the show, John Pincus. Thank you so much for joining and helping me create this, John. It means the world to me. If you'd like to support the show in a similar way, you can do so via Patreon, where every supporter of $1 or more a month US gets access to my complete and downloadable soundtrack, while supporters of $5 or more a month US get that, a monthly tarot reading video uploaded every full moon, a monthly bonus episode every new moon, and a database of 70 bonus mini meditation episodes. To learn more, visit patreon.com/darkcoldnight. You can donate one time only without any perks at ko-fi.com/darkcoldnight, by buying a t-shirt or hoodie at bonfire.com/on-a-dark-cold-night, or by buying a copy of my book, On a Dark Cold Night, Tales of Loneliness, Creation, and Love, available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle ebook format. It's a collection of some of my favorite stories from the podcast, including 3 new pieces as prologue, epilogue, and preface, and I'd love if you checked it out. You can listen to my albums on Spotify or any other music streamer as well by searching for Kristen Zaza. I'd love if you left me a rating and review for the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere else you like to rate and review podcasts. Follow me on social media on Facebook and YouTube under On a Dark Cold Night, Instagram at Dark Cold Night Podcast, TikTok and Blue Sky at Kristen Zaza, or on Twitter at A Dark Cold Night. Thank you again for listening. Thank you again for your patience. Thank you again for everything. Sweet dreams. This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network. Sonar.